Frank Holmes, you launched the Jets ETF last year, and it was a quick grower. It has over 50 million in assets since then. It holds the major airlines, but it's been fairly flat since it launched or took off last year around this time. What's wrong? Because oil prices are low, those airline stocks should be going up.
I think the big factors is global growth, the concern over global growth and the impact in America. And you're absolutely right. These stocks are so undervalued. If you look at it as a category of the transportation index, they trade at 1/3 of trucks valuation metrics. If you take a look at the S&P 500, they're trading at they're half of that multiple. And the other part that I think is really fascinating to me is they're buying back so much stock, announcing billions of dollars of buyback.
So when do you think the turnaround is going to happen? Because they're making record profits. When are we going to see it hit the stocks? Is it summer travel season? Is that where we're going to see it?
When the market starts to rise and there's a relief that there's global trade is back on, these stocks will have huge moves. I also think that when you take a look as a category, the Warren Buffett stigma on the industry is remarkable. People always love to quote Warren Buffett saying the airline industry is a bad industry because he lost money. But I would share with you and your listeners that it's changed. You have CEOs like the CEO of American Airlines says, pay me no cash, just stock. And his stock is off 20%. He is so confident, and it's like a technology company of Oracle or Apple, pay me only in stock. And these guys are buying back, all of them, you see these huge stock buybacks.
Why do you think some of the bigger players are down more in the group? So you mentioned American, they're down around 20%, UAL down around 15% in the past 12 months. Why are the bigger players suffering more?
Well, there's a whole concern on litigation from the Department of Justice on price collusion because prices have gone up dramatically, and people are really ticked off about the cost of baggage, so they have to go through that. I think that's a short-term noise, but I do think when you take a look at global trade and this model that we have in this ETF is that the foreign stocks, 20% of the portfolio are stocks, they're all capped at 1%, so there's no big currency risk. And they all have to make this sort of asset test, like what's your SAT score to get into a good school? Well, they all have to have high cash flow returns on cash flow. They all have to have top half growth in sales. And they have what's called PRASM. So you're looking at an important factor that the airlines analysts look at.
All right, and then finally, the big players are suffering, but some of the smaller regional players are doing very well. You look at Hawaiian Air having a great past year. JetBlue is doing pretty well also. So is there a regional versus national thing going on?
There is, and you can see that. And Spirit Airlines has gone through difficulties, so it was the big super winner a couple years back, and it's gone through that trough, and it looks like new CEO, there'll be a change taking place, and that individual name. Alaska Air is another one of those stocks that have great cash flow returns on invested capital and have been great stocks. And the experience on Alaska Airlines is also a great experience, and we're commenting on it.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Frank.
Great.
And thank you for watching The Street.